Button has been pressed. It's Monday again.
We're back.
We're back. You're welcome.
Due to popular demand.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna. Maybe not that. Maybe this. I don't know. Um, Evening, Theron. Apparently Theron was serious. I don't know what he was serious about, but he was serious.
Why is he so serious?
Why so serious? Mm. So we were on here last Monday, and we discussed some real estate issues that I was having.
Oh,
Um, then for the rest of the week, everything in here broke. I everything in the shop broke last week. It started with the pop machine,
oh,
which whatever. I don't really care about the pop machine. I care about the pop machine, but like whatever. On a scale of 1 to things that broke that I give a shit about, it's pretty low on the things that I give a shit about.
you're right.
But like, I moved the pop machine because the new Swiss machine, the Swiss lathe, I wanted to put it near the electrical panel so that I could hook it up temporarily to the panel to keep batteries and all kinds of things in the controllers going,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Well, ever since then, every now and then, the pop machine would like rattle, like the fan was rattling when it was running, like only a couple of seconds, like when it would first start and when it would shut down, like the fan would rattle. Whatever, I don't care. It's an old pop machine, is what it is. Well, I should have cared. I moved the pop machine to move the Swiss lathe, and that's when it started. So uh, I should have paid attention. I should have looked at it because eventually that rattle turned into like an electrical popping noise, like arcing and popping, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I ran over there and unplugged it. Cool, whatever. Didn't care. That happened on like first thing Tuesday morning. That happened. So I was I was making skids on Wednesday morning. I was working on buggy skids on Wednesday morning. And I got that running, whatever. I'm like, okay, the tool path that does all like the intricate stuff runs for like 40 minutes to do 2 skids. Like, okay, fine. I've got time to mess with this pop machine. So I walk over there, drag the pop machine away from the wall, and it turns out like a wire clip must have broken when I moved the machine, and a wire fell down on top of the fan. So when the fan would start or slow down, the wind that was blowing off the fan wasn't enough to blow the wire away from the fan, so it was rubbing on the fan, and it finally wore through, and that was the electrical popping noise, was the electricity shorting out on the on the metal fan.
Sick.
Right. So okay, no big deal. I can fix that pretty easy. But then I hear this just god awful noise coming from the mill. And I'm like, I probably ought to run and go look at that. So I run over to the mill, and the pneumatic solenoid that releases the tool to do a tool change um, got stuck in the unlocked position. So it dropped a tool down onto the parts. And then when it went to load the new tool, it didn't actually grab the tool, so it pulled it out of the tool changer and dropped it on top of the parts, and which then bounced all over the table and then down into the enclosure and down into the coolant tank. Cool. So I tear that all apart, fix that solenoid. It was just like a stuck solenoid, so I disassembled, took it all apart. It's just got like a brass rod inside of it, and I just cleaned up the brass rod. It had some corrosion on it. Fixed that solenoid, got the mill running again. Luckily, it didn't hurt either of the parts. Neither of the tools broke, and it didn't hurt the parts. So, like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like a 45-minute fucking around session. Got that running. Turned around, I look at the lathe. I was making parts in the lathe, and there's a giant puddle of coolant on the floor under the lathe. I was like, what the hell? I
This
blew a
is
high
all.
pressure coolant
This is
blew
all
a high
Tuesday.
pressure coolant hose on the lathe. This is all within like 2.5 hours. First thing Tuesday morning. I'm like, son of a bitch. Shut the coolant off on the lathe. Luckily, I was running aluminum, so it didn't really matter anyway. Finished the parts I was making on the lathe. Fixed the pop machine. I took the high pressure hose off of the lathe. Went down to O'Reilly's because our local O'Reilly's makes hydraulic hoses, and had them make a new hose for the lathe. So like I fixed everything on Tuesday, but like I really felt like I was getting tested Monday and Tuesday, and I didn't want to be tested. That was pretty bad. It's time to go back to bed. That's just about. I thought about it, dude. I called my wife when and so then I had to go and drop stuff off at the UPS store and whatever. And I was on the phone with my wife on the way home from the UPS store, and I was like, I swear to God, if somebody pulls out in front of me, I'm not even hitting brakes. Like they're gonna get it today. Like, don't even care. It was bad news bears. I was helping troubleshoot an air compressor yesterday. Turns out 2 of 3 screws holding the motor together snapped. One looks like it was broke before it was fully assembled. So today, when I was finishing these skids, my blowgun, my air blowgun, I was using it to clean the parts off, obviously. It turned into a pressure washer. It was spraying water out of it. So I had to go drain the air compressor today, but whatever. Life in a machine shop for sure. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Life in a machine shop. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Can we see more of the IFS truck? Have you gotten much further on that? That's ready to run, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just kind of sitting idle. Working on other projects. The only thing I don't care for now, it could be the wheels, but I don't really care for the offset.
It's a little wide. I don't think I hate the front so much as I hate the rear.
Yeah, but at ride height, they'll be the same. That's the other thing too. These with the IFS stuff, sitting with none of the battery or drivetrain in it, it looks alright, and then when it lowers, it widens probably like a. Man, I don't know. That's probably a quarter inch on each side.
Yeah.
um, so that's why it's always like looking Carolina squatted because there's no weight, there's nothing in the front. So
Yeah.
this could be good to go. Honestly, I might try and just run like a pre-order on this whole kit. I just have to figure out like pricing and stuff. I don't know. This would all work. This would be a fun thing to like tinker with. Um, yeah, I don't know what else I'd really need. I think the
I mean,
link.
honestly, as far as the pre-order goes, I think the way that I figured out the Jimmy's skid stuff for pre-orders with like groups and trying to keep that up to
Yeah,
date was, I think that went pretty smooth.
yeah, I'd have to agree. Um, I might do like a leaf group and then a linked group. Personally,
Uh,
the linked
just run it.
linked one's
Just
pretty
run it
cheap.
Leafs. Just run it all Leafs.
The links, I think, is where you benefit from this whole idea of the drivetrain up so far.
I mean, benefit, yeah, but like
The
it's
links are easy,
IFS.
but yeah, I might. I so we need to figure out how because there's like with the whole shapeways thing. There's old files that people still might need for like the ATL stuff like that. Because those are the files I have on Shapeways. I need to figure out how I can just upload those as like a buy the file and like print it type deal. Um, I should adjust that sooner
Start
than later.
get on My Mini Factory and create a page, and then people can buy them from there and print them themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I did this IFS kit, I wouldn't be doing these body mounts. I would trust somebody else to do them. um, these are perfectly fine, but I mean they don't really utilize the frame at all as far as like clearance goes. But it is, in my opinion, it's the best height for this extra cab body, and I'm assuming the Forerunner as well. Although the bolt pattern would be different for the
Yeah.
Forerunner. I might be able to like adjust it or create like another hole or two for the Mojave and then the Forerunner and just have those all one slider. But I don't know. I'll have to look at the Forerunner, see how different they are, if anything lines up differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just been kind of sitting. I haven't done anything crazy with it. Um,
Can you change the front hubs on it to make it narrower, or is that not something you want to do?
I don't. So it has. I don't know exactly what hubs it has. They're small. I was almost thinking like a flat faced wheel, but I'm not sure.
C1 Pro leafers. We've gotten a couple messages and a couple emails. Not anodized necessarily, just like regular C1 Pro leafers.
I think I do have some of those ordered. I just put in an order Friday.
Okay. Thank you, RC Garage Guy Customs. Website host is Squarespace. I think I can do digital downloads on Squarespace. I would have to look. Just My Mini Factory popped into my head first because
I think
like
night
customs
uses
and
that. Yeah.
yeah. That's what popped into my head first. I think I can do digital downloads with Squarespace easily, or I mean, in general. I don't know if it's easy or not, but I think it does.
Right.
Oh, not what I wanted. Todd, what's going on, dude? Colorado Adventure Club, what's going on? My site is Squarespace as well. Just host the files on your site. Okay. Like I said, I'm sure it's probably reasonably easy. I was watching Harley's member video earlier this morning. First thing this morning, he and I were talking yesterday about the Pro Mod build. I think that you, Wesley, would like to build a Pro Mod because it's kind of class 2 to class 3 ish. And I think that we could have a lot of fun with them at Disney.
so
I don't
so
know.
that's like 2 months out.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think we should both build them. Why not make the high low IFS part of the lineup? It has to get tested first. Is basically what it is. I mean, that's the prototype in front of you.
Yeah, I mean this is the Leaf one. I ran the Lexus one, and that was pretty much flawless for what it was. The only link or weak spots I was finding was the actual um, element steering linkage. I think again, it's probably like the high torque servos. You would ditch these factory tie rods, and you would just do like the 5347 with some like all thread, um, something more stout than this. This is like a weird ball joint
Yeah.
style. I don't know. That would need
Rob,
to be
what's going on?
upgraded before I trusted it in a comp. Otherwise, you're going to be having IFS problems, and one of your tires is going to point the wrong way.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
it, it was doing that with the Lexus, and these are little tires. I mean, these are 3.8s. Can you imagine a 475 or something like that? It's just get annihilated.
Tom, how about aluminum roof racks for comp rigs? We used to have aluminum roof racks for comp rigs. The thing about roof racks now is with the current Sorrrca rules to get roof rack points, it doesn't make sense. You are adding so much weight on top, and there's no need for those 2 points. You can point out a truck way smarter than using a big roof rack, aluminum, carbon, plastic, anything. You should not have a roof rack on a Sorrrca truck anymore.
I could see it maybe if you're running like that weird pivot, so you can like do
But
something.
then you just bolt it to the roof, and you should be running an interior cage, a custom interior cage. So you build the cage with a tab that supports the roof, and you bolt the pivot through the roof through that tab, so it sandwiches the body between the roll cage and that pivot. Then you don't have a use for a roof rack, and you still have the pivot. Saw the July batch looked like a mullet with flat center, but labeled as a C1. Is that something you guys would run just the rails? So we have talked a couple of times. The mullet series chassis, we have fully designed and tested the mullet in a C1 setup. The reason we never released it to the public was because it was a difficult build with a forward motor mount and transfer case, because you're trying to cram a whole lot of stuff in the front of that chassis. And it made it very difficult for non-skilled builders or people that are willing to hobby to assemble.
Right.
Now that transfer case points are gone, you're going to see a resurgence of transmission mounted motor setups come back. So it's something that we probably could or should revisit, or rediscuss amongst ourselves. We've had that. Well, how long? It's been what, a year, over like a year and a half now that a flat skid mullet based chassis has been in
Yeah.
the hands of drivers.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're running it last year at Carl Blues, and
I think it was before that.
been a minute.
Yeah,
Time's kind of flying, man. This year's a little quick.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's honestly, so that's kind of one of the reasons I haven't been like super gun ho about this, was because this is all like unique. Um, so this is all proprietary 3D. Like you're only gonna get this 3D printed stuff from me.
yeah.
So I've been kind of figuring out myself how to deal. Not, I wouldn't say a headache, but how to market this and make sure everyone makes an informed purchase.
Yeah.
'Cause I can only make it so easy, and then someone will find something that I may have not addressed entirely, and they'll maybe not be happy about it, or
Yeah.
spam our email. Um, but
James says he's looking to build a terrible C1 IFS front leaf rear forward motor, but forward like a 10.3, like forward and on top. I assume that's what that means. Got my gold 6x6 on the bench. IFS in class 0 isn't too bad. Scale wise, it looks cool. One of my projects for the winter. I mean, if it's done right, it looks cool, yeah.
yeah, I think this will look sick. Like I said, the offset kind of isn't for me, but I would. I'm not like the wheel expert, man. I just get used wheels, or in this case, these are like cheapy wheels. Just because they were the quickest thing I could get that matched the Lexus. But yeah, I don't. There's people that know exactly what offset to run and stuff. It's not me.
Yeah. This is a whole topic in itself from Colorado Adventure Club. I don't know how you could get any smaller than those NODs or the EXO stuff. Reefs just came out with one, but they're all the same. The Reef Trans looks good. I'm gonna disagree with you there, El Chapo. I don't know, Wesley. How do you feel? I'm sure you saw the picture of the Reefs Trans. What was your initial opinion on that?
Um, I mean, I thought it looked good. It's hard to disprove nice machined aluminum not looking good. Um, Now the details, the innards, I don't know. I have a lot of the deluxe stuff, so I probably wouldn't be buying the Reef stuff anytime soon. Um, my thing would be like designing like stuff to fit all these transmissions. What's the bolt pattern? Because honestly, that's my annoyance right now. I can kind of like care less what, who, and where the stuff's coming from, but like even with deluxe, every bolt pattern on every transmission is different, and honestly, it's pretty annoying
Yeah.
because I hate adding a bunch of slots to skids and drilling a bunch of holes. Um, so to me, almost all of those are annoying. They're
So
functional and useful.
yeah, my initial opinion, the very first thing that came to my mind, the second I saw the Deluxe Trans was, wow, it looks like they got a hold of whoever knocked off the Deluxe Trans in China and had them design one for them. It looks like a machined aluminum housing that got media blasted and then clear anodized or black anodized. The gears and shafts do look good. The machining on the gears looked good from the pictures I saw, and they are pinned to the gears or pinned to the shafts. So that's better than most of the Chinese transmissions. Like the knockoff TGH stuff, those gears are pressed onto the shafts very lightly. At least the Reefs Trans, the gears are pinned to the shafts, so that's a positive there. So I think I'm opposite of you, where I don't like the exterior look of the Trans, but I think the guts will probably be fine. Um, the other thing that was slightly kind of an annoyance, speaking of bolt pattern, is it's a unique bolt pattern. It's a 2 bolt pattern, and it's a unique bolt pattern, and they don't offer a skid. Uh, so you download a paper template and drill your own holes in your skid.
Now, are most people okay with just because this is a I don't know if I really discussed it with you, or maybe I have. I know I've discussed it with Ferkel and stuff. Was what if we just offer blank skids? I know we've had people request blank skids,
And
but
I'll run a batch of blank pro skids every now and then. I actually have one right here. I'll run a batch of blank pro skids every now and then and put them up on the side on the garage sale section of the site. And they usually sell slowly, but they do sell. But also, I usually don't post about them. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe if I post about them or whatever. I kept laughing trying to watch the video. He kept putting the black Trans in the black spot on his pit mat, so I couldn't see it. I'll tell you what I laughed about the most was he 3D printed a skid plate, just like a universal Capra looking skid plate, with what I can only assume is probably like a 15% infill. So when he when he was showing drilling the pattern in the skid, like you see the drill bit pop through the plastic and like drop through the infill and then pop through the plastic on the other side. And then he countersunk the holes on the bottom. And he never showed the countersinks on the bottom.
yeah.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he just blew right through that freaking like
Actually, with that small of an infill, you just tighten it
you
up.
just
And
run the screws in.
it'll bed itself.
and it'll loosen itself right back up as soon as you drive it too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't think that that's the caliber. Well, I didn't expect that to be the product that got released, given the people that they've recently hired.
Right. If honestly, if there's no skid and stuff to go with it, it also makes me question how tested it is. I mean, I'm sure the trans will hold up, but I figured like, I mean, we've been doing this a minute. If I was gonna release a trans, I would have had a whole marketing like strategy to where I'm like, all right, we're gonna sell this trans. Obviously, someone's gonna want the skid at the same time. It's an easy sale. So why wouldn't you have a skid ready to go? I don't know.
Well, they're the transmission. They're trying to make it more universal, I think, but in doing so, with a unique bolt pattern, the only way they could do it is by giving a template. So, I mean, I see why they did what they did, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It, uh, do you think that the transmission market's getting too saturated?
I don't
Because
know.
at $150, I believe it's too saturated with like bougie transmissions.
So the thing about it is,
Not, I think if they came into the market and they're like, here's this trans for $80, they'd be like, oh, all right, hold on, let's gonna shake it
so
up. But they're just kind of going along with it.
yeah. So the thing that's interesting to me is, most of these skids were being designed around comp trucks, around Sorrrca based comp trucks. But I think that between you and I, and a lot of other vendors that I talk to on a regular basis, that market is running away real fast. Um, and I think a lot of people who still want to build and still want to compete are going to things like the VFD or VFD Twin in buggies, or they're going with dual motor setups. I've seen a lot more dual motor setups.
I got my questions on those. What's the benefit?
It's basically like having front and rear dig. You're
Oh, okay.
powering.
The motors are spinning different outputs. Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I saw dual motors, and then I think I was scrolling. I was like, dual motors. It's 2010 again, and I just kept going. I didn't actually look to see if they were output control or which of
Yeah.
their independent outputs. Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
with it. All right.
Yeah. So these small transmissions that came out, I think there is a market for some of them.
Mhm.
Like there needs to be one that has overdrive, or two that have overdrive, and a couple that don't have overdrive for people who don't want overdrive. But like now there's like 12 or 15 different options, and most of them are Chinese manufactured and just imported type transmissions. Um, some of them, the gears are great, gears and shafts are great. Some of them are absolutely terrible. The $40 options are absolutely terrible. The $80 to $150 options are probably usable. Um, yeah, I don't know. Need to be more innovative. I 100% agree with you. So you think Sorrrca is dead? I hope so. Wait till they release their next update, and we'll find out.
So,
I
do
trust a mechanical shaft. You would like a shaft.
the the live rules or whatever that's gotta go, dude. That's honestly, I think that's part of the downfall. I mean, you can come out with whatever rules, but dude, to like alter something mid-season, it seems like a personal, like
Yeah,
someone took something personally and they're like, I'm just changing this rule this weekend. There it
Yeah.
is.
All you have to do to understand why Sorrrca is dying is look at the WRCCA, the actual like comp crawler, you know, Shafty MOA super class. Look at their complete rulebook and look at We RC Rock's complete rulebook, and that's less than the
Bunch of
those two rule
classes.
books combined are less than the index of a Sorrrca rulebook. Um, Dude, nobody wants that shit anymore. It's no fun.
I
It's not. It's no fun.
I here's my theory. They're making it so complicated that people are back to building actual scale trucks again because I've never seen leaf spring stuff so popular. Josh, I hope you're still not here. Um, I've never seen so much leaf spring stuff in my life, and that's not a competitive thing, but it's just a fun way to build. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm it's that I mean that train's going, dude. Um,
Yep.
I do have like some F10 mounts, but I was trying to. I don't know, did I tell you about the HD 44s or
Kind of.
my issue with those? So
Kind of.
they're the shock and link widths are like the AR, so they're one link, but the F10s are wider, so I can fit like a flat plate in there. So having said that, you can't fit a flat plate in the general area where you'd want that mount to sit. So you would need a machined mount. So that kind of puts me out on the HD 44 as I've kind of figured out. I didn't know it until I spent like 2 or 3 nights designing up to that that mount, but at least I didn't go
Yeah.
on order 10,000 mounts. So,
Right.
but other than that, just F10s. That's all we got stuff for, man.
So they have MOA, but on the transmission now. Yes, essentially, yes. That's what it is, basically. Have we hit a wall in innovation? Perhaps just gear changes for various OD ratios. Um, I think we've hit a wall on the innovators spending enough money to compete with Chinese companies. Um, without without basically just being an importer or reseller.
Yeah.
Um, the hobby moves so fast that designing and manufacturing and building, it's difficult to keep up with a company or with a country that can you can release a brand new product and within 3 or 4 weeks it be available for a third the price elsewhere. Um, Coupled with the fact that hobbying has become difficult again for a lot of people, skill wise and money wise. There's a lot of newer people in the hobby that haven't been around during the figure it the fuck out stage. that and we're kind of to the point now where there's so
I,
many aftermarket options that you have to figure it out again. Like, which I'm not upset about. Like, I'm glad that people have to figure it out again.
right.
But there's a lot of people that have never had to figure it out. And then there's a lot of people who want to do it, but money is just tight. So I I personally think we're in a little bit of a slowdown right now, but it's too complicated to put a single issue on.
Yeah. I would say for us, it is we're just gonna have to bite that bullet and not follow Sorka rules because
Yeah.
my issue is since the beginning of the year I've been kind of working on a whole platform, and now when they talk about rule changes for the rules that we've been following,
for 2 whole years.
I don't want to keep furthering development of this, and because I mean, I don't know how much money I've spent R&D and having people test this new design, but
All about the podcast.
I have a visitor in the shop. Sorry, my buddy Matt's here.
What's up, everybody?
Oh man,
I have an infiltrator. Must have just been running. Smells like shit. Anyway, yeah. So it's like, we talked about this last week. You just want to just do what you wanted to do anyway, and not even worry about whatever Sorrrca is going to change their rules to. And if they decide to ban something, then the customers will be mad at Sorrrca and not at us. So that is what it is. And not that we want Sorrrca to ban our stuff and that we want customers not be able to run it, but like, we're not the guys that make the rules. And I'm not going to sit here and ask Sorrrca for permission on what we design and what we release. It's just, it doesn't make sense to let them dictate our business. So fuck them, I guess.
That's kind of where I'm at. And so we're just kind of push forward with what we've been working on. So you might see stuff pop up at your local comps.
Yeah, and we just keep pushing, and the smaller rule sets or the more lax rule sets are gonna just continue to grow, and I think people are having more fun having fun again than they did having competitions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Central Indiana crawler group down at Abner, they have a scale trail day, and Scale Metal Supplies posted a couple of stories yesterday. Looked like they had a really good turnout. Basically, they set up 100 gates, and you drive what you wanted to drive. It's like a trail day, but with gates. So you can run whatever you wanted to run.
I need to do locally. I need to gauge interest and do the same. I kind of did something like that, but we had individual courses. But I'm thinking that's more of the format that I'm going to be after for like local stuff. Because not everyone, especially here, not everyone's like a comp driver. So everyone likes just trailing around. So if you can set up 100 gates, that's kind of cool.
Right.
It'd be cool to have it like no touch too. So like have a strap. Don't want the person in front of you get too far ahead, and vice versa. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll build any rule set for a popular event, but with no end game. Why would I build for it exactly? Unless you're going to nationals. At this point, unless you're going to nationals or your local club runs strict Sorrrca rules, there's no reason to build a truck to those rules. And nobody's going to nationals because there hasn't been nationals in 2 years. So,
and then, I mean, like all these local comps, I don't think they're running strict Sorrrca. What is it? Just that Eastern event, Super Shafty.
Super Shafty and ECC are the only two big ones that I know about.
Aren't they running like 2022 rules or something like that?
It's the living rules, so whatever it is.
But like, I'm not gonna spend $1,500, $2,500 on a truck for 3 occurrences. I'm gonna kind of build something. I'm gonna build something that I can run daily.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do anyway, so
Doesn't ECC still run 22? No, this year, 22 rules is current rules. Last year, no, 22 rules. 22 rules was just before the rectangles. Last year, they ran 2019, 2020 rules. Then this year, they're running the current living rule set. And Disney, Apex, and Crawlapalooza run their own rules. Super lax, like 10 scale points.
no wire
Metal.
showing, and you have like 6 skill items.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
super easy.
yeah, and anyone can just roll up for the most part. You can get any kind of RTR rig and just fit in a class and go have fun.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I mean, I've been doing that event since 17, 16.
Something like
I've been
that.
going there.
Checkered says our region just had an event that was a team event, no touch, using straps, winches, sand ladders, etc. 100 gate challenge, no
Yeah.
real prizes. Sounds
That's
like
it,
fun to me.
dude. Yeah. Josh says he builds a $2,000 truck for one event and sits it on the shelf.
Yeah. Rob said they run in groups and winching is encouraged. Hand of God is a 20-point penalty. Nice.
It's cool.
Quit running Sorrrca here. Crawlapalooza rules. Yeah. Crawlapalooza rules are very lax. Like I said, class 1 is like mandatory hard body, windshield width bumpers, and like 10 scale items or something silly like that. Like
I think it's 6, dude. It's like,
I think class 2 is 6 or 7.
okay. But
I
I
don't
always
know.
run a
Whatever.
freaking a hard body, so I'm already. I need to run the body and like a toe strap, and I'm already in.
Yeah.
Um,
How long till we dive into pro mod buggy builds? Well, if this dude doesn't get going on a pro mod build, I've got fixtures for a chassis here that I can build a pro mod off of. I need to or want to modify the Jimmy's skid for a standard VFD, which I have a standard VFD skid here to measure off of. So I can mount a regular VFD in a pro mod with a Hertz dig on the rear. C0 and 1 are 10 scale points. That's what I thought. They're 10.
Josh, your
Oklahoma
previous
people don't read so good.
Yeah, that comment that goes hard for people here in Texas because we ignore Oklahoma people.
Go ahead. Oklahoma people don't read so good, and you start giggling over there. It's true, isn't it?
They just know how to build fast.
What's that? They're on the spectrum. Yeah.
Hey, JP is getting upset, guys.
Yeah. Don't hurt JP's feelings. Oh, speaking of buggy skids, I finally got ahead of the pre-orders today. I got all of the pre-orders shipped today, except for 2 because I ran out of shipping labels. Which then I went to Office Depot. I typically have 2 rolls of shipping labels under my counter over there. And when I ran out of labels, I was like, oh, no big deal. I've got another roll of labels here. I must have said the same thing last time and never reordered them. So I went to Office Depot because there's an Office Depot right down the road, and I was just going to get a roll of labels. No, I decided not to. A roll of labels on Amazon is like $11. A roll of labels at Office Depot was $71.
I don't know how Office Depot stocks are.
And they only had one. They had one roll of labels, which I can understand why, because no one ever buys them. So I should have labels here tomorrow to ship the last 2 of these skids. But otherwise, they are now like in regular stock. So people who didn't want to pre-order and wait, they can now just purchase one.
Nice. Speaking of orders, I'm going to try and get out my pending ones before I leave for Disney Thursday. So
you're leaving Thursday after work, or
yeah, I'm not even coming back home. I'm going straight to Disney because that there and back instantly saves me. Or it's instantly an hour, so it's a half hour back and then a half hour forward. So
oh yeah,
if I leave straight from work, that saves me an hour. So I'm leaving right after work Thursday. I'll probably get up there like, I don't know. I didn't want to add it up.
You're just gonna take the dog to work with you?
Yeah. He's chill. He's a shop dog. He just sits in the office. We have a pretty nice office, probably 800 something square foot office. So he just chills out there, greets the people as they show up. Good time.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and have all my pending orders with me by Thursday, so I can just drop them off. So we'll
I think
see.
this will be the first time since like early June that I won't have pending orders. It's kind of weird. Like all of the pre-orders have just been rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. That there's always been like 40 or 50 pre-orders in the order queue that I need to ship. So like it feels a little weird looking at the current pending order list. It's like, we're doing pretty good. Kind of strange.
Yeah.
What is it about RC trucks?
I don't know what it is about RC trucks. What is it about RC trucks?
I mean, what? I'm just sitting here looking at this picture. Like, why do we love them so much? Is it the rinse and repeat process? Because if it was real, it'd be trash.
I think so.
Is
I
that
think
it?
I think it's because we can literally toss them down a hill
You can
and
build
just
whatever you want,
pick it back up.
and you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, they're expensive, but I mean, the most expensive RC car I have is worth less than the set of wheels that I use for off-roading only on the 1-to-1. So like, and I can toss my RC car down a hill like I did at Crawlapalooza last year.
I wonder what the ratio to RC crawler guys is to people who have actually wheeled anything actually off-road.
That's a good question. How many? What do you think the percentage is of people who actually wheel versus people who run RC crawlers?
Don't get me started on this.
I have
Because-
RC crawlers and are good at it that have never off-roaded.
Dude, so all the times that I see like a 22R modeled and like the intake is on the wrong side or something isn't modeled right or like cross members are called skids and I'm just like
That's
dude,
the realism.
I don't think anybody I bet you it's like 25% of
That's the
RC
realism in you versus a designer, because like so he's said that it bugs him when like people have like a scale engine but the intake's on the wrong side versus the 1-to-1 or whatever.
I've even seen like turbos with no plumbing on the model engines.
My wife designs packaging for automotive products daily, so like oil bottles, adhesives, silicones, gear oils, all kinds of stuff. She's forever sending me pictures like 2-stroke oil. She'll send me a picture and she's like, is this motorcycle 2-stroke or 4-stroke? I'm like, that's 4-stroke. Do not use that picture on that bottle of 2-stroke oil. Like, that's the realism kicking in. But like, I don't know. I think people just people gravitate towards the RC cars because even though it's an expensive hobby, it's way cheaper than a Jeep. And if you break an axle shaft in a crawler, it's $20 instead of $750 or more.
No,
No, I get that part totally.
You rip a sidewall on a crawler tire, and it's a $30 pair of tires versus he's got a we'll call it a Jeep buggy with 43-inch stickies, TSL stickies. That tire's what, $1,800, $1,600 for a 43-inch on a 20, something like that. You rip one sidewall, and it's an entire high-end build on one tire, and you can carry it home. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're not just having to tow it back.
Yeah, just throw it in your backpack and walk away.
Or you
I
can
will
leave it
say,
on the
though,
ground.
you could leave it on the trail. People look at you a lot weirder, though, when you're driving your RC car by yourself on rocks at the Riverwalk versus if you're driving your Jeep on a trail.
Fuck 'em.
That's exactly, yeah, fuck them.
Hey, they're the weird ones if they're staring. That doesn't make you weird.
That's true. If they're the ones staring at you, Who's the weird one?
99% of the time, too, when they walk by you and they're steering, they're like, dude, that's sweet, I want one.
Yeah. Can't afford one, pal.
No,
Ferrari.
no. So the thing that always gets me is, can my kid drive it?
Yeah, no, your kid
I'm gonna
cannot
need
drive
a down payment, dog.
it. Yeah, sorry about your kid. No. I don't even let my kid drive it.
My kid.
Yeah. Keep
My
your kids
uncle
away from
has
my
one
shit.
just like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my uncle has one just like it.
Powered.
It's
that
not. Yeah, is it
gas
gas powered? Does it sound gas powered?
Yeah. Oh man.
Risk of death RC crawling is much lower than 1-to-1, but never 0. I mean, if my wife found out how much I spent,
That's
death
the
might be
risk. It's a different
Yes.
kind of death.
imminent. Yeah, it's a different kind of death. Yeah, yeah.
Death by crawling, I think.
It's relaxing, and not too many people approach a guy in his 40s driving a tiny truck.
Again.
How fast is it? Yeah, no, it's not fast at all.
Yeah. How does it go 70?
I had nobody from driving a real truck.
Yeah. More than half the people that show up to a crawl drive a car. Only a few drive trucks. That's a pretty good point too. Like,
Yeah, but just because you drive a truck doesn't mean you don't have a truck with a crawler on it.
yeah, I mean, you can just drive
Throw that in
your car as a daily driver, whatever. A lot of people, most people aren't like
It's
this
like
guy
Harley
that daily
people.
drive a dually.
It's like Harley
Is that
people.
fast?
They got a crap box car for the winter, and then they have a $40,000 Harley they're riding in the summer.
Yeah, yeah. Time and location are a factor. I live near the mountains, and it's hard to find time to go actually wheel. Yeah, true. Can I get one like that off the shelf? No. I drive a Gladiator, so it's hard to say what I drive. You're like, yeah, I drive a Jeep truck
Open.
thing
No. I saw a
on
Gladiator.
20s.
I saw a Gladiator ad, and they were advertising it as the only
Yeah, back
open
edition
air
Jeep.
pickup. Did
The
you
only
ever see
open air pickup.
like the stuff comes off, right, like a Jeep.
Yeah.
So they called it the only open air pickup. Was their marketing.
Matt said it's a Tampax Jeep.
Aw.
Tom says I'm that guy. I drive a crew cab dually daily.
Love that guy.
Yep. Not a truck. Gladiators are not a truck.
Can they hear me when I talk?
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I can't hear you, but
Dude, I'd probably argue anything with like a 5-foot bed's not a truck.
so I mean, even my Ram, my half-ton Ram, has like a 5'4"? Is it 5'4" or 5'6"? Something like that. Like that's not. You can't even put a fucking bicycle in the bed of the truck straight. Like
Can't shut the tailgate with a dirt bike.
you can't shut the tailgate with a bicycle in the back of it, let alone a dirt bike or a piece of plywood. Like when I had my YXZ, my side by side, I drove that to go get 2x4s one day because they fit like through the back of the cage down into the passenger floor better than they fit in the bed of my Ram. Like they were more secure there than in the back of the truck. I'm sure it looked stranger, but whatever.
On the podcast.
Not yet. The VW gets 40 miles per gallon. The Heap gets 13. That's also a factor. Thing that pisses me off is my Easy Up's about 2 inches too long to go in straight.
Been saying that.
2 inches will make or break you, dude.
My Easy Up's 2 inches too long too.
Been saying it.
That's why he doesn't like gladiators.
Dremel it. Just slide the legs all the way out. It's probably just the little feet that are catching you. Just pull the feet out. If you throw that box of packing
would be a
peanuts,
shame.
I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
This would be a shame if somebody tossed this in the air, wouldn't it?
If a box of packing peanuts goes flying,
We're just gonna
somebody asked earlier where my gas-powered hole punch is.
not gonna do it. I want you to.
I swear, dude. So you would think that this might be the first time I've had an infiltrator in the live stream,
No, I can't imagine.
but you missed the homeless dude that was up there staring out the window one day.
Oh, no way.
Dude walks up to the front door of the shop, and he's looking in the window, like, peering in. And I'm like, go on. And he looks at me, he's like, go on. And he, like, grabs the door and opens the door. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, hang on. I had to go shoo this homeless dude away from the door. He's like, do you have machines in there? I'm like, yeah, go away. I'm also live on YouTube right now, so I can't shoot you.
Well,
I mean, I could, but it would have been kind of off camera. Speaking of homeless people and asking me if I have machines, kind of on topic. The Harley dealer, my dad has Harleys, and I've had to modify some parts for him. The other day, a guy shows up at the shop with 2 bolts, 2 ARP studs, and he's like, "Hey, can you turn the washer diameter down on these? I want to use these to mount my floorboards." I'm like, "Dude, like you have 2 stainless bolts and you need the washer just smaller." Fine, whatever. So I had to make a holder. I just chucked this up in the lathe, center drilled, and tapped it for the bolt size, and like just turned the washer down. It was kind of hillbilly, kind of janky, but I got it done. And then one of the techs from the Harley dealer, comes walking in the door with this intake in his hands, and he's like, "Hey, we're doing a big bore kit with a bigger throttle body. Can you open up this diameter on the inside of this to 2.488 inches?"
Dude, all right.
I'm
So, dude, one of my pet peeves is when people convert inches to decimal.
Yeah,
Just do millimeters, dude.
yeah.
Why, dude? I'm not.
What is 2.488?
I get so annoyed. I'm like, dude, if you're talking to a machinist or anybody that works with technical drawings,
I mean, in his defense, it's 63.2 millimeters.
yeah, but you're talking about 3 decimal spots in a made-up measuring.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
that
now
shit
the only reason that this Harley dealer knows that I can do this is because it's the Harley dealer that I had to do this to my dad's so that they could use it. But like, that's the fuckery that, like, I'll do that for my dad, but like for some random, come on, man. And he wanted me to do it that day. That it was Friday. Friday at like 1:30, this guy walks in the door. He's like, "Can you get this done today?" I'm like, "I don't think I can get it done next week." Like, whatever.
I don't know.
That air cleaner back still won't flow enough for a big bore. They don't care about that. They just want it to fit around the throttle body. They don't want the throttle body opening bigger than the hole here. You got to remember that Harley people, most Harley people that have a big bore in their bikes don't care about horsepower. They care about cubic inches. They don't want to, they want to be, "I've got a 131 in my bike." Cool. It makes the same power as a 117. They don't care. They have a 131, and that's all they care to talk about. All the machinists I work with still work in 3 decimal places. That's annoying. Like, if it's a critical tolerance thing, I can understand it, but like,
dude. So all of my like design work and stuff on this, most of this stuff now is like first time fit because I use millimeter, not inches. I feel like inches is good for like decks in houses.
it's a good thing you decided to switch to that 6 months ago. After you designed the high-low.
It's not 6 months ago. I think actually since I've been doing, I think the first stuff I started 3D designing was in inches, but then I had to change it all over.
Yeah. We had a guy come in that had a print where every measurement was in sixteenths, 4/16, 8/16. It was funny. Now that's funny. Like 8/16 instead of simplifying it. Yeah, just learn how to use a tape measure. Oh yeah, Paul. Don't forget if you order a Jimmy Skid, you can win a high-low slider. Yeah, so the giveaway is still going on. Any order placed on our website during the month of August gets you entered to win a high-low slider from Paul.
What is his? I figured his Paul's thing would show up as like the RC underdog, or is he just signed in under Paul?
He must just be signed in under Paul instead of RC Underdog. All of our programming is in inches. So, like, yeah, my fusion programming for the machines is in inches, but like,
dude, I bet you that's.
But like your brain, you're seeing tenths and thousandths. So like, you're working with such a finite number, and like realistically, the computer's doing most of it. So like, your brain's not thinking in inches.
I was having problems with the 3D printed stuff when I had it in inches because when it would convert to metric, it was off.
It can be. Yeah.
I wonder if that was our issue we were having last week about that thickness.
Could be.
So
I showed you guys the belt for the Swiss lathe. This is all that's left of the old one.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that was the new one. I was like, wait, what?
No, this is all that was left of the old one. The belt that I had to change on the Swiss.
Disgusting.
That's all that's left of it. That and this and those Kevlar strings and this whatever this is all that's left of it.
It's like a dog treat.
Yeah. Dan Adams from CT's in the chat. So going on.
Dan.
Matt says hi, Dan. Dan's skids shipped today. Sick. So he should have those in a couple days. If you want Dan's address to sign him up for like mailing lists and stuff, I can give it to you.
Yeah, I've already got that.
Got it. If you get like Kamala Harris ads in the mail, Dan, it wasn't me. It was Matt.
It would definitely be me. That would be something I would definitely do. You guys should all know that Brett's coming on the podcast Wednesday. It's called Our Day Off Podcast. We just started it. First episode's out on Spotify. Go to Spotify, Our Day Off. Brett will be on there Wednesday.
I don't know how you find it because...
Type it in, Our Day Off, which you can't spell.
I couldn't find it. I had to go hunting for a link because I couldn't find it. Yes, Matt started a podcast, and I will be on that on Wednesday, which will be posted on the following Wednesday. I also have Matt's address, so game on. Depends on what address you have for Matt. Send it to all of them, yeah. Anyway, updates inventory-wise. Skids are in inventory. We added a couple of things to the garage sale site. There was one extra of the July linked leaf.
It's already gone.
It's already gone. Never mind. There are some shock tabs. Stainless.
Watching that garage page like a hawk.
Who got it?
It was Rylan.
Oh, got it.
He could have just DM'd me, but I guess he. Oh, that's okay.
All right. Anyway, Jimmy's skids are on there. There's some shock tabs and panhards.
Yeah,
I think everything else is current.
There are, yeah. So I ordered a bunch of these stainless ones that I heated up for that July batch. I ordered a bunch extra because I thought I was gonna screw some up. So the ones that look good are on the garage sale. So They're heavy duty. You're not gonna break them. If anybody bends one of these shock tabs, I will send you new ones.
Yeah, you'd have to try real hard.
I want to see the truck that ran over your RC car.
Yeah. Front lines are back in stock on the website. I didn't realize that I did not have stock tracking. I didn't have the inventory as infinite on the frontline chassis. So those were sold out, and I didn't realize it. I wondered why they weren't selling because they're sold out. Those are back on the site, but I think everything else should be current as far as dual servo mounts and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was gonna tell you to take 10 quantities off for the dual servo mounts because the September small batch has been ordered. So.
Let me do that immediately because if I don't,
I got
well,
a
there's
fat
only
stack of them over there. I'm not sure how many I told you. I don't know how many I told
there's
you.
only 5 in inventory, so
Okay, no, leave that. That's good.
I'm gonna leave that now.
Probably add to that actually. We'll circle back to that.
Got it. Otherwise, anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? Anything? I mean, we're a little past 9, but whatever.
Yeah. My screen died, so I can't see comments anymore.
Oh, your laptop died.
Yeah.
RC Garage Guy Custom says, "Dang, I wanted that." There's still the July small batches. There's still 2 of the Link Leaf kits. The full kits.
This
was just rails.
Yeah, I ordered 11 sets of rails, and I only used 10. So
I want to see a peanut shower. He left before he doused me in packing peanuts.
the urge is too great. He had to leave.
Yeah, he picked up that box of packing peanuts like 3 times. I was waiting for it. I didn't say anything the first time he picked it up. The second time he picked it up, he actually like picked it all the way up and was like looking at it. I'm like, you better not. I should walk over to the air compressor when I get off of this, when I shut this off, and see how big the water mess is. I just opened the drain valve and just walked away. I had to go. Wednesday is my son's first day of school, so tonight, or back to school day. So tonight we had to go to the school and like do the orientation crap, whatever. So I decided to drain the air compressor. Yeah, I drained the air compressor as I was leaving the shop. I just opened the valve on the bottom of it, walked away. So it's completely empty, air and water. I'm just curious how much water was there, because there's not like a pipe that pipes it outside. It's just all over the floor back there.
Nice.
Whatever. It's fine. It's just water.
It'll be all right. I'll be fine.
I kind of want a high-low. Well, either order a high-low or don't.
I haven't reordered any aluminum ones as of late, so.
Well, so in all honesty, I mean, when we are done testing this new platform,
Might be deleted.
the high-low may
Supersede.
take a hiatus for a little while, which we did previously. You know, the original high-low was 2014. Then, like 2016 was a V2. Then, like, it kind of went away till like 2020.
Yeah.
Then the current 23 model. Yep. Now the current 23 model. So, Wes, stiffy brackets.
Who is that?
Tom.
I have to remake those, I think.
Yeah.
There might be some other things those are going to go on to.
Yeah. Do you plan on making the Jimmy skid out of aluminum? No, not even a little bit.
Oh, come on, dude. I'd have to have one to sit on my shelf if you did that.
So yeah, so like if I were going to make one out of aluminum, it would purely be as a decoration. Aluminum just doesn't slide on the rocks like Delrin does. It just doesn't. So, and like strength to weight, the Delrin holds its own.
It's funny.
The crazy thing is, Dan says I'll pay. The crazy thing is aluminum, like 3/4 inch aluminum, is cheaper than 3/4 inch Delrin by the foot.
It's so one of our drivers, he he wanted a more like hardened aluminum frame because he thought it would slide better. So I obliged. He had to drill a couple holes in it, so I got him $775. He said each even though it's aluminum, each hole took a DeWalt drill bit.
He was probably fucking up though. I have aluminum right here that I could use. Like, I literally have a chunk of 3/4 sitting on the table here.
So
Um,
I guess be careful what you wish for.
yeah. I mean, realistically, as far as like the machining goes, it's the exact same process, the exact same tools, the exact same fixturing. I would just have to go through and slow down a couple of things, like my machine and the fixturing would not be able to handle the feed rates that I'm running in Delrin in aluminum. Like, it just can't. The fixturing to do these is not super rigid, so I'd have to be cautious. How much longer would it take? I think it would probably take 50% longer. If I had to guess, I could probably slow it down. Like 2 of the operations would need slowed down, but the rest of them would be fine. When's the new platform coming? After testing.
We've already said too much.
Yeah. So there's gonna be at least one person testing next weekend at Apex. 4. There's four testing at Apex. So if you're going to Apex, maybe take a peek up a couple of guys' skirts.
That's kind of a weird way to say that, but yeah, I guess.
Wesley wears skirts. Look up his skirt.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one there wearing a skirt.
Yeah. Look up his kilt.
Yeah. This Scottish. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, next Monday should be talking about next month's live, as long as you're back in time and ready to go.
Yeah. I should be back Sunday. Hopefully not Monday morning. I don't know, dude. I'm kind of just going with whichever way the wind's blowing this weekend.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to get my hands on some more of that alcoholic Mountain Dew they got up there.
Dude, I still have, if Theron wasn't still in here, I could walk over to the workbench on the other side of the shop. I still have like half a case of that from probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a minute. I might get a peek then. Hey guys, just wanted to jump in and say hi real quick. Dustin, how's it going? There, do it, I dare you. I'll look at the dates sometime in the next 7 days. Oh, one other thing, my shocks for this thing finally shipped
The prices.
from Prices. Yep. Finally
Dude,
shipped for Crises.
I think I got a notification from my debit card. They found out that I joined the Crises fan page, and they were concerned.
Yeah.
Those look nice, though. I see the hype.
I hope that they work as good as they look, and I hope that they work 17x better than these shocks do, because that's what they cost. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they work as well as they look.
Let me know. I'm glad you took the bullet.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, I think it's time to get out of here for the evening. Again, all skid pre-orders are out the door except for 2, which those will go out first thing tomorrow. Well, I mean, as soon as my shipping labels get here tomorrow. Otherwise, everything's all set. They need to break in and take a few packs. Great. Run prices on every rig I have. Have 4 sets waiting for Jimmy's chassis to be completed. Well, you're the freaking reason why my shocks took so damn long then. Like, I mean, so like I'm not upset about the time frame. I just wish that he would give like a maximum of, you know what I mean? Like he said a minimum of 3 weeks. Cool. I get it. It's going to be a minimum of 3 weeks. But it was like, it ended up being like 8. So, like, if you say a minimum of 3, my brain went, okay, 3 to 5, maybe 6 weeks. I never messaged him a single time. I didn't bug him. I didn't ask him anything. He told me he's going to message me when they ship, and he did. They messaged me as soon as they shipped, so I can't complain about it. I'm not upset about it, but it was longer than I expected. Just create a program to cycle the shocks. Not a bad idea. So, anyway, out of here for the night. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. We will see you next Monday.
I'll probably look just as tired next Monday.
Potentially.
We'll see.
Hopefully, I'll have a set of shocks next week.
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Probably not, though, coming from Australia. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right. Later.
Thanks for hanging out.